Hi guys, in this video we are going to continue working on this chair designed for CNC machines. And when you design a chair like this, it's not always straightforward. The solutions that you choose are not always the ones that you end up with, and it's always iterations. And after looking at this chair more and thinking about it, I think I shouldn't use the easy solution with the plywood here, because eventually I want to make this chair from a very premium expensive wood, and I want to sell this chair very expensively. And I'm not sure how to do it yet, but I have a plan. Maybe I could patent this chair and then create a small community of people who makes them and limit the production of these chairs, so we can have, for example, one person in every US state, and only that person has license, so there's no competition. And then we can limit that we only make one chair per month per state and it costs, for example, $8,000, and then we can market it through to influencers or rich people in rich areas, because if the chair will cost more than $5,000, we can spend some money on marketing, right? So there are two different approaches that we can take. So one is the standard approach, is to include these pillows with the base, and I have another comment in my YouTube channel from the same person with the suggestion. Yes, I would love to build this base into the pillow, but my knowledge in upholstery is not yet there. So what I want to do is I will create a chair with the base first, and then I will think how I can implement the base into the pillows later. So this part will be replaceable, obviously. So for now I will just design another base, the base where we can control the thickness. And I just want to show that if we use the pillows embedded with wood, we can leave an empty space there, and that's important, because whenever you have a upholstery pillow like this, you need to choose the stiffness. If it's too soft and the person who is sitting is very heavy, he will touch the seat and it will be not a nice experience. And if you make it too stiff, a light person will feel not hugged. A light person will not have a hugging feeling. So it's always a compromise, and usually to allow this a softer pillow, we need a hole here where we put belts, or like straps like this. They are like rubberized, and we staple them, and they provide a soft feeling, so you never feel the touch with something hard when you sit on a chair. And that is not that straightforward to implement here, but the base that I'm going to develop now will have an option to leave the lower part open. We don't need it for the pillow, for the back seat, for the backrest, but we need it here for sure if we're going to implement this. So for now I'm going to redraw the base in a way that it can be made from the same wood and it will have the same style. So it will be basically this part but flipped. And to do that we will have to undo a lot of stuff, and I will demonstrate how Fusion is great at this kind of redesign things, or maybe not so great. You will see how hard or easy it is. I think it's not very easy, but it's still much easier than in other softwares. So let's start with saving this document as version 3, so we still have a point where we can roll back if we want. And then let me check the design sequence. See, nice thing about Fusion is that we can always roll back. So here, when we draw the armrests, I want to design the base before that. because what we need to also do is we need to fix that point to the sketch to make sure that it touches the chair in a specific point and that never moves. So let's go back here. Okay, let's go where we already have the pillow. Okay, let's start. We will have threaded rod here and here. We will properly position it later. And I need to build supports. So, like that. We will also need a center rod here. Now, I will support it here. So, like that, like that. Maybe someday we can do organic version of this chair, but armrests have to be also adjusted then. This one will be too thin. I will have to add a bump, and I will probably add the bump from here. So let's project these 3 lines. So it will go like this. Let's project this line. Although, no, we need to make it longer. Why I wanted to create this backrest and the seat earlier than the armrest is because if we're doing it from layered plywood, we don't know the width. So it has to be, probably the seat will have to be adjusted also. And also it's not right to design it in the middle, because then we're limited to even amount of layers, which is not always the ideal amount of layers. That's why we'll have to change how we design, and we need to make sure that we start from here and moving to the right or to the left. Let me show you how it's done. And I need to add one more line. Let's project these 2 lines. Project. Okay. me try to adjust the seat first. So the seat, instead of being symmetric, we will go one side and we will go the double the what we did before. 10.75 inches multiplied by 2. And by the way, let's put it in a parameter. So we don't know the thickness, so let's create the no units parameter, and we will set it to number of layers number, and I don't know how many layers. Let's just start with 12, for example. Now we can calculate the thickness of the cushion width, and it will be in the number of layers multiplied by plywood thickness. And now we can see that the value is 9 inches. This is not enough, so let's do 20. Let's apply this cushion width to the actual cushion. And this one, instead of symmetric, we will go one side cushion width. That's too narrow. Yeah, I think Simba has 28 layers. Okay. Now we have this. We will start with this. In the base, let's select the base. We'll extrude this stick. Plywood thickness. New body. Good. Okay. And now we need to multiply it to the right. Number of layers number, but divided by 2 and rounded in case there is a uneven number. And the distance will be plywood thickness multiplied by 2. We're having a space, so there's a space in the end, and we want to avoid that. So we will say that cushion width will be minus plywood thickness. We'll see how it scales later. Now we need to extrude the second part. Of the base. This one. We want to make an offset of 1 plywood thickness, and then we want to go distance 1 plywood thickness also. So we set the offset so it's alternating. Then we want to create a pattern going to the left again. Number of layers multiplied, divided by 2 and rounded again. But we need to minus 1 because it's alternating. Let's do plywood thickness multiplied by 2 here, And I'm not going deep into that math because it's not a course, it's just how I do things, and you can reverse engineer it. Or maybe in the future I will have a course where we go deep into that math. So now we have this seat. Although I don't think we need a lot of wood here. So what I will go back into the design and I will add a line. Maybe here, so it supports the pillow. And then I will maybe set 2 layers only. 2 layers full length. No, I will go back. I will just delete so it can be scaled later, so we can use it. Where is the sketch? Okay, I will delete from here to, yeah, just from here, and I will offset the deletion plywood width multiplied by 3, and then I will, that will be a complex math. Layers minus 4, because 2 layers on each side, multiplied by plywood thickness. Layers divided by 2. No. Let's do minus 6. It's just already guessing. I'm guessing here. No. Layers minus 4 multiplied by plywood thickness multiplied by 2 divided by 2. No. Okay, the distance will be, let's do it just plywood layer, plywood thickness. For now it will not be parametric, but we can do it later. Multiplied by how many? 18, 19. And plywood thickness 4 should be the offset, so something like this, yeah. So it's layers minus 9. Let's leave it for now. Okay, but this way this will not hold, and we will need to add full layers. These layers should not be alternating because they will not hold. We will also add spacers here. I'm planning how to make it better, but let's do. So I will extrude this one, plywood thickness, new body, and then I will make a pattern to the left, spacing, number of layers divided by 2. And the distance will be plywood thickness multiplied by 2. So this panel will be easy to sand, and it will hold the pillow, it will look nice. This panel will save some wood because it will not be visible. And let's add spacers here with an offset of 1 plywood thickness. We'll make a new body. Okay. And then we will create a pattern to the right. Number of layers divided by 2. And the distance is plywood thickness multiplied by 2. What was the name of the command that rounds to bottom? It's faster. Okay. So with this sheet, what's nice is that we have full control over the thickness, the strength, and now let's round the corners. Before we need to round everything before we create the patterns, because we don't want to apply corners to all elements manually. R3, R2. Yeah, here we'll have to add manually. Let's apply the same wood and let's check how it looks. We have some work to do to fix how it mirrors, but I can see that we have a problem here. The round corners didn't apply here also. So let's go back to base 1. These things will be annoying to sand and to cut. They will fly out, so I have to alter this. to add another line. It's the lesson learned by experience. Just don't have any tiny parts. Parts should be longer so you can handle them on a router, on a palm trimmer or something. So we will skip several rows. Plywood thickness multiplied by 4. Let's try 4. Then we will do plywood thickness. Okay, 5. Okay, new body. Okay. Let's round the corners. We can actually do it full length, but the wood is expensive. That's why I'm trying to save a little bit. No one will see it. Those tiny parts are usually easy to fit in the leftovers. So in the future, if I will go the upholstery path, I might remove this central part to cover it with those straps, rubberized straps. Maybe I will remove the hardware for now and all the related stuff. And focus on the design for now. Now I will create a mid pane and I will mirror components left armrest. And for some reason the round corners disappeared. But other than that, this backrest looks better for sure. We need these holes in the armrest, so they have to be here. They have to be in this sketch, otherwise there are problems. And we will need to hardly design them. We'll need to make a constraint to make sure that this one from this one has specific distances. It doesn't matter much how much is the distance, but it should be there. And then I will create a construction center line just as a pointer for myself. Where the center is, and I'll try to make it less huge. I think that's better. We went a little bit off the Alvarez Alto line, and I would like to avoid that at all costs, because that could be an expensive mistake. Been there. It's very important to maintain the proportions. Let's project. Let's set the distance to be the same distance like here. Let's create the recess, 1 inch. It should be actually 1.1 inch because the washer is a little bit bigger. I mean, the washer is 1 inch, the recess should be a little bit bigger. So it's like this. Finish. Now we are going to the base, and we need to turn on that left arm sketch. And now we need to project. Ideally, we need to keep this hole a little bit off-centered so there's more wood on top of it than below, to avoid sagging in the middle. So when there is a row of plywood, it can sag in the middle, but if we keep enough material on top, the material will compress, the material on top will compress. And that's what I am thinking right now, how we can take advantage of that distance to introduce a little bit more material on top. And maybe it's not important to add material here, because although yeah, let's add still maybe 0.65. And let's keep it a little bit off center like that. sounds okay, but uh-oh. So this situation means that there's some line in the sketch that it was not closed properly. Let's investigate. Okay, so that's the first one, the very first. Okay, this should fix. Every time, you remember I replaced this line, this, and every time you do that, all the corners that were touching that line need to be reassigned. Okay. So it can still be made from plywood, it can be made from any expensive wood, it can still be upholstered, so I think this solution is better. Now I will apply those missing corners again. I know we decided that here we will not. Okay, let's apply this one first. R3. No. R3. R1. No. R2. Yes. R2. And Yeah, and we need to make the holes again. Okay. Oh, that's so ugly, but maybe we can close it with something. But at least I think that this seat is not as ugly as the other one. Let's try to increase the width. Let's see if it works. So number of layers, let's say 30. Let's not risk making it uneven for now. It didn't work. Or did it? I think it did. It's just the central mid pane didn't work. Yeah, that looks more. And let's check the canvas on the width. We only have one canvas. Let's add. Let's calibrate. I thought I added this one. 20 inches. Okay, so the seat is perfectly matching. The armrests are a little bit narrower, but I think it's okay. Although if I will add another layer here, it will be much stronger, so I can make it thinner. But I want to try this thickness first. And let me do one thing I wanted to do is this one. Maybe a little bit thinner. So I will add the hardware later of the video. You already seen how it's done, and we don't need it for now. Hardware will be needed only when I do the manual, and basically that's it, when I do the manual. So before that we will need to put it in a CNC machine, but this video is already long enough. Sorry we didn't move forward, but we improved the design. We avoided mediocrity. In my view, this is much better design because we can use real wood for these parts, so the chair can be very premium from all sides. Okay guys, I think we will stop here for this one, and I think the chair is now much more flexible in terms of manufacturing and a little bit more good looking. So in the next video I really hope that I can start laying it flat on a sheet of on some boards, and we can see how it can be cut and programmed. So let me know what you think, and see you in the next one.